Interesting. I don't know if this is working. Yeah, I'm an idiot again. I gotta reload. Alright, can you guys hear me? Flynn, can you hear me? Perfect. Great, so I'm gonna have another video. This has been live streaming for almost 10 minutes. So again, I'm gonna have a video that doesn't start for like 10 minutes. So frustrating. But it's kind of a pain in the butt to get this going. It also doesn't update me like if anybody's in the room. Like it shows nobody's here still. Maybe I need to stop using Google. I'm trying to do this on Google Chrome and it's not working out very well. Okay, anyways, I think it's going good now. Hey Tropical, you can ask a question about betas, but I'm certainly not an expert. But maybe someone in chat is. I do have mystery snails, and they're actually, I've got 2 clutches of eggs so far from that batch I got a while back. I got blue and gold. Are you looking for some, Flynn? I don't know if they're hard to breed yet. I'm waiting to see if these eggs turn out okay. They lay these really long string clutches of eggs, and half of them I know are dead because they're not all the way out of the water. Hello, space is dead. I don't know if this is going to be the best time. It's hard to get here by 3. I might have to try to do it a little later. I have 2 streams open? I don't even know how that's possible. How many people are in the other stream? I don't see it. Yeah, it definitely needs to be later because I get off work at 2 and to try to be on here at 3 is kind of difficult. Especially I gotta feed all my fish. Apparently I'm being told that notifications aren't going out either. Jim wants to know if anyone is breeding skunk corridoras. I recently got some in, so hopefully I will be able to. I'm certainly going to try. I'm still trying to figure out how there's 2 streams going. Oh, hey Cole, I did see you say hi, but I was concentrating on technical problems again. And the problem is I can't edit out the first 10 minutes either on a live stream. So like my last video where the first 9 minutes was nothing, it's going to be the same way on this one. Thanks, Alexander, because I don't see it. I don't see the other live stream. I know I screwed it up and had to restart it, and that's probably why there's two of them. But to me, it only shows one. Okay, I think I can start getting to people's comments. John Paul says, "How fast do cherry shrimp grow?" Uh, Pretty fast. You could probably get them breeding in 3-4 months. John Action Figures, Stop Motion, and More. That's quite the name. He says, "What temperature do I keep my guppies at?" They stay pretty low, probably 70. Go Add Magic says, "Hey, what's the best snail for a tank that isn't as much as a pest?" If that makes sense. Yeah, like a lot of people consider a pond snail a pest. I don't. I like them. I like all snails, but probably mystery snails or nearite snails. Neither of them will breed. Well, mystery snails will if you don't keep your water level all the way to the top because they lay their eggs outside of the water. And nearite snails need brackish water to breed, but they will lay eggs, so you'll get white spots everywhere. '84 Moss says, "How do you get the info to order rainbows from Gary Lang?" You pretty much got to know Gary Lang. Sometimes he puts fish on Aquabid, but I get him through my Aquarium Society because he comes and does talks for us in Seattle all the time. So do a prank video telling Corey I'm doing an 8-hour stream. I don't think he'd worry about it because if people had to choose, he would just say, "Oh, go ahead." I'd get like 2 people. Space is dead. I just got a new 10-gallon. Can you go over what would be good for cherry shrimp? Um, they're very forgiving shrimp. You can put them in almost anything. I've kept them and bred them in pretty much all of my tanks, and um, it doesn't really matter as long as you're not freezing them or boiling them. They're kind of like guppies. They'll just go in just about anything. So you could just build a tank the way you want it and then put cherry shrimp in there. I don't know anyone in Canada that sells fish. Sorry, Flynn. I think one of the only people I know in Canada, and I don't even know him, but obviously Joey. He doesn't sell anything, but I've never kept a frontosa. Hey, Oliver. Russell, the snails are doing good. And they're also doing well. They're actually laying eggs for me, and I don't know if they're going to be good or not yet. Hopefully. I started to finally spread them out to all my tanks, though, because it was getting a bit much in that 10-gallon, having to do water changes every day. Yeah, I keep sand would be excellent for cherry shrimp. I've kept them in sand. I've kept them in Eco Complete, which is planted substrate. Maybe I've even kept them in like crushed coral substrate, so I've kept them in dirted tanks. Really anything. Flynn, I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming for, probably at least till 4 o'clock. Plants don't do very well in sand, from my experience. You could do plants like Java Fern and Anubias that you can put pretty much anywhere and that can even float. Obviously, any floating plants, but plants that you require to be planted in the substrate are not going to do that good. Jason says, did you ever sort the tank you got from Corey? I've got a few of them from Corey, but I'm going to assume you're talking about the 240 gallon, and it's still in my garage. Space is Dead says, thanks, how's your dog? She's doing excellent. I actually got to call my vet as soon as I'm done with the live stream. Make an appointment to get her stitches out. Oliver Dean says, what's going on with the 240? Nothing right now. And, you know, when I got the tank, I kind of hinted that I probably wouldn't be able to do anything till after the year's over, and it's, well, 10 days, so it's looking that way, unfortunately. Tropical Tanker says, can you keep a male and female betta in the same tank until she lays her eggs and then move her out? Like I said, I'm certainly not an expert on bettas. I would imagine that would work, but maybe if someone has done that, they can chime in. Flynn says, the bamboo in my hang-on back filter always dies. What's going wrong? I don't know. That's a pretty hard plant to kill, man. I don't know. Yeah, I've thought about putting something in the garage just for now, but I really want it to be more of a show tank and in the house, and if I fill it up and use it in the garage, it's never going to get moved. So I've kind of been putting that off. Because I also got the 125 gallon I need to move in the house too now, so it's going to be quite the process. The good thing is I'll get a lot of videos out of it. Space is Dead says, I saw that you sold guppies to a local shop. How do you go about making that relationship? It's really no different than making any relationship. He was building, I was actually driving by while he was building the store, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a fish store there. So I actually stopped in while it was being built and kind of started planting the seed, you know, before he was even open. And then, you know, you just keep going in, and you buy stuff. I'll always buy stuff from a local fish store versus, you know, online, or as long as if it's a huge difference. Like sometimes you'll see a filter online for like 70% off, so obviously you got to buy it, but you just got to keep going. You know, always bring it up. But I think I got the head start on everyone because I was there before he even opened the doors, and I was in there talking fish. Do you find that Russell says, do you find that dirted planted tank is bad for snails but good for plants? I don't think so. I've never. I mean, I have tons of snails running around in my dirted tank. I really don't have any real dirted tanks right now. My 75-gallon crypt tank is, I mean, maybe ½ inch of dirt and then like 3-4 inches of gravel and eco complete. So no, I wouldn't think that a dirted tank would be bad for snails. Kyle Stitch says, ever had any experience with geophagus, redheads in particular? I have not, so I have not bred them. But I've been looking at Jurupari. That's going to be, I think it's kind of a geophagus. I'm not sure what their the first part of their scientific name is, but Cole. I feel like Cole has a lot of fish. It seems like every time someone asks about a fish, he has a group of them. Oh, I guess you guys were talking to each other. Okay. McAllister's View says, would you ever set up a marine tank? Yes, I would. Yes, I have. And I'm kind of planning on doing it again. I just don't know when. Because it involves breaking down one of my tanks I have now. So, but I had a BioCube, one of the 14-gallon BioCubes. Flint says, is Java Fern okay to sit on top of the substrate, or should the roots be buried? In my opinion, they don't need to be buried. Is it better if they're buried? I don't know. I don't notice any difference from when I attach them onto wood or when I bury the roots. They still grow painfully slow for me. So, Space is Dead wants to know the pros and cons of a dirted tank. Um, the pros for me are it would be like a set it and forget it. You never have to, well, not that you never have to change anything. You really don't want to change anything because it's just going to make a mess as far as pulling out plants, things like that. That's also going to be the con. And the biggest problem I have with dirted tanks is that I always wanted to get in and change things around, and I always got my hands in the tank, and anytime I would pull up a plane, it just made a huge mess, and finally I just tore it all out. Ryan McCullough, how's the progress on the 125 from Black Friday? That is still sitting in the garage right next to the 240. And then also in the garage, I've got a 20-gallon long rack. I just got lots of projects that kind of got put on hold by some personal stuff with the dog and everything. So on the holidays. Do you add anything to your water when doing water changes? Yes, I add Seachem Safe on all my tanks, and then on my cichlid tanks, I use Seachem cichlid salts and buffers, depending. So like the Lake Tanganyika buffer or the Lake Malawi. On my really heavily planted tanks, I'll add fertilizer. But like my guppy tank, I don't really do anything. My 125 gallon, I don't do anything, but it also looks really bad, so I probably should be fertilizing it. Josh Action Figures Stop Motion and More. What is your dream fish? I'll probably have to type that one for you, but it's the Bentochromis tricotti. Click this one. And there is the dream fish. One of them. That one's on the top of the list. McAllister says, do you use breeding boxes for guppies, or do you find that stress the fish too much? I don't know if it stresses them because I don't use them. So I couldn't tell you if it stresses them, but I don't really find you really need anything special to breed guppies. They just do it no matter what. What motivated you to start a YouTube channel? So I started uploading videos as a way to document my fish. So if you go back to like my really old videos, there's no talking, there's no nothing. It was just a way for me to go back in like a year and see what's changed. And then more and more people started watching them, and people wanted to talk, and kind of evolved from there, and then evolved even more, and now I'm doing a live stream. So right now, I got a question for you guys, if anyone has any experience with this. I'm looking for a good algae wafer. I've been using the Hikari algae wafer, and I just got this guy. which is Aquatic Arts from Amazon. And this little thing right here was $15. And it's pretty good quality, but I don't know how the value's not there for me because I've only had this for like 2 days and I'm already half gone. So if any of you know a good source for good algae wafers, definitely let me know. Flynn's Fish Forum is back. Cole says, do you test your water before water changes, or do you just do a certain percentage each week? I don't do a water test beforehand, but I do watch for micro bubbles. So sometimes in my area, I don't know if it's everywhere, but when you're filling your tank up, it'll just get thousands and thousands of micro bubbles, and that'll like skyrocket your pH. Yeah, these ones, I don't know, the reviews on Amazon are really good, but when I put it in the tank, nothing really touches it for like the first hour. And I guess that says something because they don't dissolve easily. But it's not like all the reviews are like, oh, as soon as I put it in the tank, they all fiend for it. But none of my shrimp, none of my fish, are just like, they could really care less. And then finally it's like, okay, fine, I'll eat it. Rob Hicks says, I'm starting a planet tank. I'm thinking of a ghost knife. What else do you think is good? Like angels, maybe. Angels would probably do well. Depending on the size of a tank. I know the ghost knives get pretty big. But I've definitely seen them kept with angels before, as long as you have a place for the ghost knife to hide. Justin says, what did you settle on for a background in your crypt tank? Still nothing. I want to do Cryptspiralis, and I have like one plant in the background, but it grows so slow that I'm either going to have to buy just a ton of it or wait years and be cheap and slowly propagate it. I don't know, I haven't decided, but that's what I want to do. Russell says, Bob, what do you think is the best food for an ELF 144? Boy, this fish has been getting a lot of talk lately. I don't know. Did somebody do a video on this that I missed? I had to look this up last week. Let me look it up again. Pretty sure it's an ancistrus, right? Or a hypencistrus? I don't remember. Hey, Charles, yeah. There's a couple live streams going apparently, so. Yeah, the 144, that's the lemon longfin, like the blue-eyed lemon ancistrus. I don't know why I forgot that. As soon as I see it, I know it instantly. L144. So let's get back. What was the best food? My ancestors love canned green beans. So I mean that's definitely their favorite. They also love rapashi, but I feel like they like the green beans way more. Justin says, what do you think the reason your L183s aren't breeding? Well, I actually tore that tank apart and, well, not really apart, but I kind of rustled out all the plecos. I have 6 of them, and I think they're all male, so I got super unlucky. They are good-looking fish, though. Wouldn't touch the green beans, but likes the rapashi? Wow. I don't think I've met a fish that won't eat green beans. I pretty much feed green beans to every single one of my tanks. Let me see if I can look at this video without creating it. Yeah, it's the blue-eyed longfin lemon something or other. Think aquatics. Okay. Aquatic Hobbyist says, I love the channel. Thank you. Charles Fish Tank says, I have my final tomorrow, my last final, and I'll be flying back home. Excited to see my fish again. Name unavailable says, late to the party again. Well, I was late too, so. That's yeah, it's definitely a sausage fest. Man, none of your fish like green beans? Are you buying the right green beans? They're like, it's gotta be like the French cut canned green beans. They go bonkers for cucumbers too when I blanch them, but that takes too much work. If I'm putting that much work into food, I would rather make rapashi. Sorry for autocorrect spelling your name wrong. I go by Bob, Rob. My real name is Robert, so everyone calls me something different. It doesn't matter to me. Valley Freshwater. Anyone have experience treating ick in a high-tech planet tank? Think I should run an airstone due to increased heat? I probably would. I don't think I would stop dosing CO2. I know a lot of people like to either reduce lighting or turn the lights off to treat ick. I don't know if that actually works. I've only had ick once, knock on wood, but and all I did was put in C-Chem Paragard because that's all I had, and it was gone within 2 days, so I got pretty lucky, I feel. Gav May says, hi Bob, like your vids, nice tanks by the way, thank you. Russell Beach, French cut green beans. I feel like that's right. I think it says French cut. That's a thing, right? French style green beans, French cut green beans. That's it. I don't know why. Big Steen, yeah. Corey's trying to get that to go around. Big Steen. I don't know why. That's his thing. Name unavailable says it's weird how so many guys are into aquariums than girls. Not saying they're something girls, just seems like they are outnumbered. I don't know if they're outnumbered. Well, I don't know. That's a stat that I look at on YouTube as far as your demographics, males versus females. And the female demographic is growing, definitely. Especially, I mean, I got a few percent bump when I got my betta fish. I went from like, okay, it's still really low, but like 10% to now I'm almost at like 17% female demographic since I got the betta. And apparently, like goldfish will do well in the female demographic too. Space is dead. Bob, I'm heading out to my local fish store, about to pick up some Eco Complete. I'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. I love Eco Complete. It's one of my favorite. I wish it was cheaper though. Caitlin says, as a girl, I feel outnumbered in the hobby. Yeah, I can understand that. Do I know the difference between onion snails and mystery snails? I've never heard of onion snails in my life. So let's go to Google. Onion snails. Scallion slugs? What? Okay, even Google doesn't know what onion snails are. Oh, they look like near-egg snails. Is that all they are? No, I didn't mean that I was getting goldfish. I just meant that that's like another way. That's like another female, a high female demographic is betta fish and goldfish. Russell Beach says, do you have to blanch the French style green beans? Nope. They They're already all ready to go. You throw them in and they sink. That's what's really nice about them. Raw vegetables, you generally the only reason people blanch raw vegetables is to get them to sink. At least that's the only reason I do it. I don't think it's any better, like nutrition wise. No neurites. I just found out my local fish store had them labeled. I don't even know where they would get onion snails. How would maybe that's a Canadian thing. I don't know. Onion snails. Must be a Canadian thing. I'm gonna go with that. Chance Baker. Any tank mates for Petricola in a 20-gallon? Pretty much whatever you want. I mean, they live with cichlids, like highly aggressive cichlids, so it can't get much worse than that. pH 7.7, that leaves you wide open for a lot of fish. Flynn's Fish Forum. How bad is the stench when a large mystery snail dies? I heard it's bad. Um, I don't know. I've had like 2 snails die on me so far, and I haven't. Of course, I do daily water changes, so maybe that's why I don't know or notice. So I'll tell you what, nothing smells worse than Nubius dying. That is awful. If you've never had a Nubius rot and experienced that smell, you're missing out. Let me tell you, that'll make your eyes water. Josh Action Figures. Have you ever went fishing? I have been fishing many, many, many times. Still waiting. Oh, Justin, you're in Canada too, huh? I'm still, or in Canada too, eh? Still waiting for my local fish store to get some river neorites. Is that a different form? I've never heard them called river neorites. River neorite snail. So yeah, just a different form. There's too many different variants of neorite snails. Name unavailable is Canadian too. Awesome. I need to find a way. I need to find out how much it is to ship like dry goods to Canada. I'm just curious. I've never done it. Molson says one of my neons has a white fin. Any ideas what this could be? Maybe nothing. Maybe fin rot. I would definitely keep an eye on it. Can a pea puffer eat a neon bone and all? It'll probably pick on it till it's pretty much nothing. Pea puffers are really aggressive. We are being invaded by the most polite country. I'm okay with that. Charles Fish Tanks, what is your primary target species when fishing? I used to be huge into largemouth bass, but recently I've got into catfish. I've never been big on bass, just trout. We have cutthroat trout, rainbow trout, brown trout, river trout. Pretty much got all the trout within like a 1-hour drive of my house. I can catch any trout. I doubt it's expensive for dry goods. I wonder, because there's Amazon and then there's like Amazon.ca, which is obviously Canadian. So can I buy something on Amazon.com and have it shipped to a Canadian address, or do I gotta buy something at amazon.ca to get it shipped to a Canadian address. Probably CA. Any type of Chance Baker, any types of sips that can live in a 20-gallon comfortably? I would say only a parasip, like a Parasiprochromis, because they're way more relaxed and chill than a Cyprichromis, and they're more of a rock dwelling fish. So they'll just hang like vertically or upside down next to rocks. Can you keep cherry shrimp in a 5-gallon fluval? Yeah. I use spinning rods and I try to keep everything I catch alive. Oh, Mark says a girl in the pet store said she had an apple snail die in her store and it stunk the whole store. I've never heard of snails smelling bad when they die. And I kill, oh, well, my puffer kills a lot of snails, so. Granted, he eats most of it, but there's still bits and pieces that he doesn't eat. Maybe it's different if it's the whole thing is rotting. I don't know. I've never noticed the smell. I've only been deep sea fishing once. And that was out in the. I don't even know if that would be considered deep sea fishing. It was just out in the Puget Sound. Tell you, we caught a lot of weird fish, that's for sure. Justin says, have I kept threadfin rainbows before? That's one of the rainbows I have not kept. And I don't have a good reason why. I think I just, I don't know, I haven't really come across them. I've never seen them in person in a store, so maybe that's why. Dwayne says, do you have assassin snails in your shrimp tanks? I do not have any assassin snails in any of my tanks. I would say if a shrimp is dumb enough to get eaten by an assassin snail, it's probably a shrimp you don't want. Get those bad genes out of there. Maybe that's not a fair statement. I don't know. I can't imagine it being hard for a shrimp to get away from a snail. Mark says, how many types of Anubias are there? More than 20. But I don't know. I don't have the number offhand, but there are a lot of types, and not only that, there's a lot of variants of the different types. Luke says, can I keep corridors in my tank with aqua soil? Yep, I would think so. I've never done it. I've only kept pygmy cories with aqua soil. But it also going to be depend on the quality of what aqua soil you're getting. Like ADA soil should not be a problem, but I forget the brand. I got some aqua soil from some off-brand, and it's really bad. Like, as soon as you touch it, it like explodes into a dirt mess. I should probably figure out what brand that is so I don't buy it again. I've gone fishing for salmon, but I've never caught one, so yeah, I'm a real bad fisherman, or they're just not out there. Josh Action Figures, have you ever wanted to do a trout tank? I have done it. More of a trout pond. But I have always wanted to, because I can like drive an hour up into the mountains and get just hundreds and hundreds of fry. And if I wanted to grow them out, I could. It wouldn't be that hard. It's illegal. So no, I would never do it. If you were going to, Chance Baker, if you were going to set up a 40 breeder right now, what would it be? I would probably do another Dirta tank, just because I haven't done it in a while. So definitely planted. I would probably dirt it, because that's the one thing I don't have right now is a planted dirted tank. I even thought about dirting the 240 just because it would be insanely cheaper than buying real substrate or like a gravel substrate, and I don't need to get in it all the time, so I might go with dirt in the 240. Trout goodeids are what I would keep for a mini trout tank. Yes, those are some of my favorite fish. How many people do we got? Because it's not telling me. It's still telling me there's like 2 people in here. I don't know if I need to reload, but I'm afraid it'll restart the stream again. Rob Hicks says, how hard is a puffer to keep and what size tank? Well, that really depends on which puffer. I don't think any puffer is really that hard to keep unless you get to maybe some of the brackish. 36. Some of the brackish would be kind of a pain in the butt just because, I don't know, you'd always have to measure the salinity, but as far as freshwater, you know, pea puffers are really aggressive, so they're kind of a pain, but, you know, like a 10-gallon tank would be fine. You could do an Amazon puffer, which is a more social puffer, which would be really easy as long as you're feeding them the right stuff. And then you'll get into like the bigger like MBU puffers, which mine has been really, really relaxed and really easy to take care of so far. But again, it's about feeding the right food. The Ultimate says, can panda cories be kept with cherry shrimp? I would think so. You might lose an occasional, you know, shrimplet, but I would think that they could far outproduce what the cories can catch and eat. Gav says, I look at my plants more than the fish. Some of my tanks I do that. Some of them, not so much. Josh Action Figure says, what are you thinking of doing in the 240? I mentioned that I was thinking about dirting it, doing a dirted planet tank. Just because it would be buying dirt for a 200-gallon tank would be far cheaper than buying gravel for a 200-gallon tank. I think I missed a Pleco question somewhere. I thought I did. Oh, how many morph of bristlenose plecos are there? Well, that's like the newbiest question. There's more than I know of. Have you ever owned a pistol shrimp? No, I haven't. I'm gonna have to look that up. I've seen them, but it's been a while since I've looked them up. Nope. Flynn's back again. Yeah, the 240 gallons. So I'm thinking of dirting it, planting it, not necessarily a biotype tank, but probably one of the funnest tanks I have to look at right now is my 75 gallon, which has a lot of smaller species in it. I'm thinking like in the 240, I mean, you could do like 50 different types of small schooling species and just have a real, like just a huge biodiversity in that tank. And I think it would be really fun to just have a ton of small, different types of fish. So basically, every time you're looking at it, you're seeing something that you didn't see the time before. Why are ghost shrimp so cheap? Probably because there's billions of them. McAllister's Views. What is your favorite type of pleco? My favorite type of pleco would probably be Hypensistrus. If you're asking what my favorite pleco is, it's the L397. And start with the thread fins. I would do a lot of pseudo McGill, different types of pseudo McGill rainbows. The Luminatus, the Signifer, um, I don't know if I'd do the Gertrude just because I've done that one to death. But you know, I'd probably throw some thread fins in there. The problem I would have is what else I would throw in there that might nip the fins. For smaller tanks like that, you're definitely going to want to go, as well, Flynn says, what are some rainbows for a 25-gallon planted tank? You're going to want to go with pseudo McGills, and I'll spell that out for you once I get the right spelling. That's kind of rainbow you're going to want to look at, and then, you know, there's, like, they all basically look the same, but there's different color variations of, like, the Pascal, like I said, the Illuminatus and the Signifer. I really like the Illuminatus. Luminatus. I don't know if you can find these up in Canada, but that's what I would do. They're kind of a dark reddish orangish color. Over 50 described species of Ancestris. Yep. And I'm hoping I can discover some new ones. I've never kept tiger barbs. I've never been a big barb person, and I don't really know why. So one time I ordered the red panda barb, and I got shipped clown barbs, and they were just they're too much. They're too, I don't know. They're too spazzy for me. Yep, the cyan dorsalis. That's a really nice one. They're all really nice, except for the, now I'm drawing a blank. I said it earlier, the one I've done to death. Gertrude. I feel like everyone's done those. So Justin brings up an interesting point. He says, you can find pseudos up here. I don't like how they school like normal rainbows do. So yes, they don't school, but the males will flash all day long with each other, and they'll just circle and duel it out all day long. And I think that looks just as cool. Like, it's a different type of cool than a schooling fish, but hey, KG cichlids. See, now we're starting to get later in the day and more people are coming. I think 3 o'clock was too early. Hey, Tim Sager, how you doing? Gav says, I've got tiger barbs. They are awesome. I don't doubt that they're awesome. They just didn't work. I don't know. They wouldn't work well in tanks that I have right now. Although I will say my one mascara barb is pretty awesome, but I feel bad for it. If there was anyone around me that had a school of mascara barbs, I would probably donate it for free just so he could have some of his own buddies. Right now he just kind of schools around with my roseline sharks, which is a barb too. Any disgusting fish horror stories? One summer Pashy got mixed into my mac and cheese. I bet it made your mac and cheese way more nutritious. Charles, fish tanks. Heck yeah, but I'm going to undescribed. I'm going for undescribed apisto species. So are you going for sure? If we go, or are you like gonna go? I don't know how that's gonna work. It's nearly midnight here. I like 3 p.m. Aquatic Hobbyist, I'm curious, where are you at that it's... Where are you at? Mac and cheese is good, but I'm convinced it's just like... I mean, it's like glued cheese. I don't know. I have fish horror stories, but nothing that's really disgusting. I don't even know that they're horror stories. It's just really bad mistakes, more like it. Tim Sager says, did your peroxide spray take care of the blackbeard algae? Yes, it did, and that's going to be in tomorrow's video. It's going to be another algae video to kind of update. Ryan's Fish says, I just woke up from a nap. Feel great. I could use a nap. I don't really get to sleep much right now. England, awesome. I would love to go to England and watch a soccer game. Alexander says, I'm from England and tanks cost a fortune in comparison. I've heard that a lot. I don't know why. Like, why is glass so expensive in the UK? What are you guys doing to your glass that makes it so expensive? Holy cow, there's a lot of people from the UK, apparently. UK is my second highest country as far as the watched. People that watch my channel, so that's pretty neat. At least if I go to England, I'll have some buddies, right? That is on my bucket list. Crazy Good Time says, what's your favorite guppies? The one that's going around right now that I like are the panda guppies, but I feel like everyone's kind of going neck deep into the panda guppies right now, so I don't want to get them because I feel it's going to be pretty saturated probably in about 6 months. Do they have to import glass to the UK? Russell Beach says, UK and Canada, we are a minority. Well, right now it seems like you guys are the majority. I'm the minority right now, I feel. So the top countries on my YouTube channel are obviously US is number 1. Number 2 is kind of always a battle between UK and Canada. It goes back and forth. And then number 4 is always Australia. And then there's a huge dip, like a huge fall off for every other country. Alexander says a 50-gallon tank is 300 plus. Wow. $300 is what I paid for my brand new 125-gallon. That came with the stand, the glass tops, and the lights. When we make it here, it just costs a fortune. That's insane. Sounds like I need to buy tanks over here and maybe buy enough of them to ship it over there and resell it. Well, acrylic is really expensive here, Alexander. I think acrylic is expensive everywhere, and I don't know why. It's just plastic, for crying out loud. Clear plastic. Duck says, I just got assorted fancy guppies and rummy nose tetras. I love rummy nose tetras, and assorted guppies are always a good choice. There's Kayla. Hey Bob, what's good? Hey Kayla. See, we're starting to get some more people. How many are... Maybe if I open this in Firefox, it'll tell me how many people, because Google Chrome is failing me big time. Oh, Kyle's Wild Worlds has a new video out. Have to check that out later. 44? That's not bad. Yeah, is there an acrylic expert out there? Someone that can tell me why acrylic is so friggin' expensive? I don't get it. Oh, did I miss a rainbow question? Oh yeah, right there. Tim says, what would be a cool starter rainbow fish and looks pretty cool? Yeah, the Bows-Manis are awesome. They're always a favorite. A fish that's kind of similar to a Bows-Mani as far as look is the Parkinsoni. I should probably spell that out for you guys too. And similar in look by the back half is yellow, whereas like a bright yellow. They're one of my favorite rainbow fish. Is that one, Parkinsoni. It kind of gets the splotches on the side. Flynn's Fish Forum says, how do you get the little subscribe button on the bottom of your video screen? Oh boy. Obviously you have to go to your creator studio. It's under channel, and then I think it's under branding. Yep, branding watermark. So look there. I don't remember the exact details because it's been so long, but that's where you want to look. Creator studio, channel, and then branding. Caleb says it's hard to make. Well, that might be fair. I mean, to be fair, I don't know how it's made, so to me it just seems like plastic. But I mean, I know it's not plastic, but Jack Barger says, how's the 125 doing? Still in the garage. So it's doing about as well as the 240. Where did you get your stargrass? I can't find any locally. I got my stargrass from a club member of the Seattle Aquarium Society. I don't know that I've ever... Well, my local fish store now sells it because I take mine in. Acrylics are expensive because they are much stronger and more durable than any type of glass. That seems like a valid answer. I'll accept that answer. But why is it so much more expensive? So I get that it's strong, but so is Kevlar, and Kevlar is not very expensive. Have you ever had experience fighting cyanobacteria? Yes. That's one of my algae tanks that I'm working on, although I haven't really shown much on how to deal with it. Alexander says, what snails would you recommend for a newbie? I personally love mystery snails, and then I would recommend mystery snails. One, they won't breed and get out of control, so that's always a positive. I think Bob is saying we should make a Kevlar fish tank. Well, you know what else is strong is fiberglass. They make boats out of fiberglass, so, and fiberglass is dirt cheap. Kayla says acrylic and layers can be bulletproof. 2x4s and layers can be bulletproof. I'm just messing with you. Oh, Google. Yeah. Crazy Good Time says, what's the best way to breed fish for profit? I would say get guppies and cherry shrimp. And I don't know that I would start out breeding them in the same tank, but once your shrimp population gets out of control, then you can start. I should ask my question again now that I got more viewers. I'm looking for a good algae wafer that's, I don't know, I feel like I'm being greedy, but I want a good value, a good quality, and just quantity. I'll show it again. I got this stuff from Aquatic Arts on Amazon. And it doesn't even say how much this is as far as ounces, but it was $15 for this thing, and I've only had it for 2 days, and it's already half gone. So the quality is really nice, but I can't afford that to feed that to all my tanks. Ryan's Fish says, what is a good plant to protect the baby fry from the parents? Java moss. It's probably going to be the best. Look at all the Java moss answers, yeah? I'm distracted by someone posting a video of a 300-gallon tank. Anyways, yes, Java moss. I cannot read your name or your comment. Sorry. Don't know what that says. Daryl says, Petco is doing the $1-gallon sale until January 27th on their website that has a 15% friends and family coupon. Oh, interesting. I was told that it wasn't starting until the Monday after Christmas. Is it already going on? That'd be pretty cool. Make everyone in the UK jealous about our $1-gallon tanks. Dwayne says, try Neptune Aquatics. Okay, I'm going to try it right now. Neptune Aquatics. Does that shake my whole desk when I type like that? Yep. Corals, aquatic plants, and fishes. Okay. Aquatic plants. Food. Why don't I don't... Oh, food right here. Question is it his own branded food or is it like a manufacturer? I don't see any algae wafers, but I'll keep that up. I'll look at that later. Does Corey from Aquarium Co-op sell Java moss? He does, but it sells out basically the day he gets it. So probably does not sell it online. What am I missing? Have you tried going through a large sinking pellet instead of a wafer? That's something to look into. Like it would have to be obviously like maybe a spirulina pellet, something like that. McAllister's View. Anyone in the UK know where to get cheap tanks from? Sounds like that's going to be a problem. $80 for a 10-gallon? Do we have like a surplus of glass here in the US? Are we holding like the world's supply of get glass? Don't know if you have. I do not have my aquarium box, and I never will. So no. How do you guys know Corey is here? I don't see it. He's sneaking in here. Oh, Aquarium Co-op. Right in front of my face. You can't mention Aquarium Co-op anywhere on the internet and not have Corey show up. That's just the way it is. Don't buy Marine Land wafers. They clouded my tank badly. I've had terrible luck with Marine Land. I have a couple packages of them, and they're no good in my opinion. I'm starting to think anything from Marine Land is bad. That's my personal opinion. $240 for a 30-gallon tank. I think Corey needs to open a shop in the UK and just sell fish tanks and make millions. That's ridiculous. Daryl Ward says, any opinions on the Marina Hang-On breeder box? I love it. That's all I use. Pondfish become very dominant during the winter months. Is this hibernation? I have no idea. Sorry, man. Just paid 600 pounds for 350 liters. That's insane. I'm gonna get my export license to start selling tanks in the UK and Canada. Hey VStack, sorry I'm late. YouTube didn't alert me. That's what everyone. I've gotten a lot of private messages so far about people not getting the alert, and I don't know what's going on there. Eight-ounce bags for $6. Oh yeah, I'll check into that. I'm waiting for Corey from Aquarium Co-op to brand his own algae wafer. Wouldn't that be delightful? Hint, hint. This stuff is really good though, as far as ingredients. I mean, the first couple ingredients are your typical wheat flour fish meal, but then it's seaweed, spirulina, celery, carrot, spinach, squash, broccoli, plankton, shrimp, krill. And there's a lot of good stuff in there, but I haven't found an algae wafer that lives up to my standards yet. Join the club. Join the club. Maybe, I guess, if Corey hasn't found it, I guess I'm asking too much of the world. I don't even want the best. I just want a good, decent substitute for when I'm lazy and don't want to make rapashi. That's it. Hey, Corey does appear out of nowhere. If you go into your bathroom, turn off the lights and look in the mirror and say Corey from Aquarium Co-op 3 times in a row, poof, he'll appear standing right behind you. I swear. What you actually want is a high-end sinking koi pellet with spirulina. Oh, see, that's what someone else suggested too. People are a lot smarter than I am, apparently. Charles says, I'm going to try out homemade gel food for my ancestress. I'd like to see how that turns out. Alexander, as far as finding cheap tanks, definitely secondhand. And if you know how to reseal, that's not a bad idea either. And Corey will steal your taco. Yep. Although, I'm still saying, all the times I've been over there, I still have not had tacos, so just saying. Aquarium Co-op says, I think it would be amazing if I drove over to Bob's house while he was streaming, and a wild Corey appears in the window. Yep. That would have been funny. Oh, now that you're finally here, I can go boom. Now you have the wrench. Yep, it was Justin that said I should be looking at a sinking pellet and not algae wafers. Mark says, my plecos love Rapashi Super Green. Yep. Rapashi is amazing. Sometimes I'm just too lazy to make it, though. Does he have any fishy balls to catch the wild Corey? What if I put... Hmm. There is someone looking at me from the window. That's pretty funny. They are across the street. They're probably wondering why I'm sitting in here talking to myself. I think I'm crazy. Well, they already think I'm crazy when they look in the window and see 9,000 fish tanks, but... As you can see, I still haven't done anything with my desk. It's been busy. Eventually I'll get a fish tank in the background. Anybody try the AgCore fish food? I've never even heard of it, but I will look it up. AgCore fish foods. Have you used it? Put the 240-gallon in your living room. Unfortunately, my living room is on the second floor. I don't think that would hold up too well. Probably too much weight. AgCore fish food. Okay, I got it up. I'll check that out afterwards. Flynn says, sometimes when relatives come over and they don't know I'm filming a video, they ask me why I'm talking to myself. I kind of feel like it's kind of weird, like when you're out in public, like when I go to aquarium co-op or I go to my local fish store or anywhere else, and I'm like, oh, look at me, I'm pointing a video camera at myself. People always look at me funny. I feel like it should be pretty common knowledge now. Like, I mean, everyone is videotaping themselves these days. Racing 1278 has joined us. Good to see you, man. Just Bob. I got a secondhand Rio 400 from Jewel for $110. Now I need inspiration on how to get it to the third floor. I don't know if I can provide that inspiration for you. I have the same problem with my big tanks. If I can't inspire myself to move my own tanks, I don't know how I'm going to inspire a population. Jason Tetro, hey Bob, curious what brand model of dehumidifier you bought. I bought the Frigidaire, and I think it's like a 35, model 35. 35, oh yeah, 35 pint Frigidaire. And I have no dislikes. I love it. I got it on super duper sale though, so it was really cheap. I should have got the 70, but the 35 pints working pretty good for me. Racing says, how's the dog? The dog is doing amazing. I actually got to call the vet after the live stream to make an appointment to get the stitches out. Dan says, how about those Seahawks? Woot! I don't know if I'm wooting for the Seahawks, but they're doing decent. I'm afraid for their defense. Racing says, hire people. I'm assuming to move it for you. Yep, that's probably what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to hire people to take my window out. Did you ever find out if you could remove the window in the 240 for your fish room? No, I kind of put that whole project on hold till next year. I do have a family friend that owns his own glass shop and that would come over, but it's one of those things where I didn't want to bug him. One, I don't want to bug him because he's doing me a favor, and two, I don't want to bug him until I'm actually ready to do it. Catfish Cave. Hi all, my longfin bristlenose. Absolutely love New Life Spectrum algae pellets. Going to try omega-1 to add variety. I was looking at omega-1 flake food, and was surprised to see that real salmon is the #1 ingredient. Aquarium Co-op says, what are your aquarium hobby goals for the new year? To finally either redo my fish room or build the fish room in the garage. I want show tanks in the fish room and all my breeding stuff somewhere else. That's my goal. Kayla says, thoughts on Dr. Tim's aquatic foods. Never used it, and it looks like I have another food to research afterwards. Got about 4 tabs of food companies to look up. Beneficial fish food. Dr. Tim's. Racing says, my fish love Omega Flake. Yeah, the ingredients look really good. Dan says, I love New Life Spectrum. I really like New Life Spectrum. I really like the New Life Spectrum algae wafers, but they're way too expensive. I couldn't afford to feed my fish room. Flynn's Fish Room. What are your YouTube goals for the new year? I don't know that it's specifically for the new year, but I am making a goal to get to 5,000 subscribers. I don't know what that's going to look like. I know I just hit 4,000 this week, maybe last week, so that it might sound greedy, but I want to do like a whole giveaway and content. I was going to say contest. I don't want to do a contest. I just want to do a giveaway at like 5,000 subscribers, and I'm kind of working out the logistics of that right now. Cameron Ferris says, hey Bob, what is your favorite crypt and what strain of guppy would you like to get into? Strain of guppy, I want to get some black Moscows. I've been saying it for a while. I just haven't found a good deal on them yet. My favorite crypt is probably the most basic, easiest, and that's the Wendetii. Any of the color variants, just because that's what I have the most success with. Flynn's Fish Forum. My goal is to get to 500 by February. I thought you were pretty close. Aren't you? Pretty close? I was just looking at your channel the other day. Maybe I was thinking of someone else. Flynn's Fish Forum. Well, 342. I was thinking 440 something. So yeah, that's a good goal. Could probably make that happen. RWT Gaming says, what do you feed plecos other than algae wafers? French cut green beans, rapashi are my 2 go-to. So if I'm too lazy to make rapashi, it's always going to be green beans. Dwayne says, what are you getting yourself for Christmas? And Merry Christmas, everyone. I feel like I already got my Christmas gift on Black Friday, and that was the 125 gallon. I don't really like get myself Christmas presents. I don't really just buy whatever I want whenever I want. It's kind of weird that I can't do that right now. I don't know if that sounds kind of douchey, but it's more of the fact that I don't really have anyone to answer to, so if I want to buy something, I can just buy it. But zucchinis. Plecos love zucchinis. That's true. Aquatic Hobbyist says, my goal is to post more regularly and improve my videos and maybe 100 subscribers. Well, let me take a look, Aquatic Hobbyist. Take a look at your channel. I might already be subscribed. I can't keep up with everyone. There's another one for you. We got a goldfish. How many videos do you have? 4 videos, so I would say you definitely need to post more regularly. That's a good goal. Brendan says, how would you go about preparing driftwood, soaking or boiling? I haven't found a good way to boil because I don't have anything big enough to boil wood in, so I have a 75-gallon tank in my garage that I just soak it for months. Dwayne says, you spent the money on your dog. Well spent. I spent a lot of money on my dog. So it's going to be a while before I can just buy whatever I want again. Stokes Aquatics says, no, we can live vicariously through Bob, wife, and kid. We can't buy what we want when we want. Well, there's pros and cons of each, so. Stokes Aquatic says, I'm crossing my fingers for gift cards for my local fish store. I'm crossing my fingers to win something on the Aquarium Co-op giveaway. I don't care what it is, but I never win anything, so I always get my hopes up every time, too. Flynn says, my local fish store employee said soak wood for 24 hours. Is that true? I only soak wood to make it sink. I don't really soak it to try to get rid of bad stuff. I feel like I don't have a problem where I'm at because the water that's outside is completely different than the water that's in my tank, so I don't know, I'm just not too worried about it. Of course, I'm probably jinxing myself, and the next time I get wood, I'm going to kill everything in my tank. But I get my wood. I hike way, way up into the mountains and get wood that's definitely never been touched by anything, so. Flynn says, I'm the only kid in my school with the new Aquarium Co-op Goldfish shirt on my Christmas list. That's awesome. I got it, but I hope he's still not on the channel. I lost it. I can't find it anywhere. I still got the puffer one. Justin says, I use primarily spiderwood and I soak it, mostly to get rid of the white fungus. Yeah, the white fungus is really annoying, and people that don't see it always freak out about it, or that, you know, they've never seen it or don't know about it. I know I did when it started getting that white crap all over it. I was like, oh my god, and I tore it out the first time I saw it, and was just scrubbing it like crazy, put it back in the tank, and then like a week later it's back. And so then I actually went online and read about it. McAllister's Views says, what type of camera do you use to record your videos? I don't have it here, but it's a Panasonic something or other. It's a Panasonic camcorder, but I don't remember the model number. Yeah, I would say if you could, definitely boil your wood. I'm getting my camera for you. Hold on. Trying to. It's a V something or other. Okay, here we go. Yeah, actually, that was the recommendation was to get a bristlenose pleco because it'll eat that white fungus. Panasonic camcorder. V7, here it is. That worked. So I have last year's model of that camcorder, and I think it's pretty much the same thing, except I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same. It doesn't look like they changed anything. Cameron Ferris says, what fish do you want to breed next year, and what fish are you going to look for in Peru? I'm going to look for new pleco species. What fish do you want to breed next year? I would hope that I can breed my L134 leopard frog plecos. Jim Job says, are you currently breeding any plecos? Just Ancistrus, so bushy nose, super reds, longfin green dragons, albinos, and regulars. Pretty much the only plecos. All my other fancy plecos are still growing out, so I got kind of a ways to go on those ones. Okay, guys, I think I gotta go. It's been about an hour and a half. Dan says, I was just looking into doing a collection trip. Look here, gowildperu.com. Flynn, tech question. With certain cameras, the video footage does not go onto my computer, but others will. So that's going to be what file format is the camera saving it to, and what type of computer do you have? Yeah, Jam, I have 8 adult L183s that I've been trying to breed forever, and it was just one of those things where I put them in a tank and just never looked at them, just let them do their own thing, and finally it's been months, and they haven't bred, so I tore them out, and they're all males. So that was a big, gigantic waste of time. Dan says, saw them on Rachel's channel. Yeah, they're really good people, so that's who we're going to go through. Hopefully. I know I'm definitely going to go, and I would rather go with people like Corey and I think even Charles Fish Tanks was talking about going. I know Lucas is talking about going. But if I'm the only one that ends up going, I'll go with I'll just join someone's group. I don't care. Yeah, there you go. MP4 is the best for Mac, so I don't know that I would use AVI. But yeah, I'm going to close down the stream. I got a lot of stuff to do. I got to call the vet before they close, or before my vet leaves. I got to go to the grocery store. So thanks for hanging out. I'm going to schedule another one. Maybe on Saturday I'll do another live stream. But it's definitely fun, so I'm going to do it more. But yeah, everyone, thanks for stopping by, and I will see you guys next time.